All right, gang. Last time you guys saw the video, we fully tore down the GASGAS 125. We got obviously tons and tons of parts over here. And today is gonna be the next step of that. So we're gonna be actually ripping this thing all the way through. So we're breaking down the engine, breaking down all the parts, doing all the washing on them. And then we're gonna be doing engine rebuild, bottom end, top end, getting it back in the frame. And that's what you're into today. So it's gonna be a big one. I see the comments. Everyone's been dying for this video to come out. We had some delays. We've had, actually it's been pretty much me. I just have forgotten to order different things. Doing the 150 build a little bit different. So there's certain things that didn't get ordered and I had to order them. I've done like 6 orders from motorsport.com, just individual stuff that I keep forgetting. So, but we're finally ready to get it all together today. First up today is gonna be cleaning. Every single one of these parts is gonna be thrown in this cooler with some Purple Power and some Dawn dish soap, and then we're gonna go ahead and take all these things inside because we need hot water. Using the sink will allow us to get the hottest water possible, which is gonna help break down all the dirt and grease on these. After soaking for a while, the first round of parts get scrubbed down and then rinsed down, and then we go ahead and put our second batch in there to soak once again. This formula of Purple Power, dish soap, and hot water is the best thing I found for degreasing these, the absolute best. But for the aluminum parts, they're gonna need one extra step, which we're gonna do and get into here in a little bit. With all the non-aluminum parts completely scrubbed up and ready to go, we are gonna go ahead and take all the aluminum parts and get them prepped and ready for their next step. Aluminum brightener is some kind of chemical thing that transforms the aluminum. I don't know the technical specs on this stuff. It's nasty though. You don't want to breathe this. You got to put a respirator on. But it absolutely transforms anything aluminum, bringing it back to its original state, removing stains, grease, tarnish. It's the best stuff ever for these things. You can see how well it works on these radiators. This is how they are tarnished and old before. And then after we go ahead and clean them, they're brand new. These parts are going to get another coat of all this aluminum brightener, but for now, they're done. The swing arm had some old decals here from when I originally bought the bike. So we're going to go ahead and get those completely peeled off. And once they're off, we're going to take the frame that's been soaking in that same formula out, and we're gonna go ahead and throw the swing arm in. There's a lot of trade-off in the washing process. You're kind of just scrubbing one thing down, then waiting for the other one to soak, scrubbing that one down. See, we're removing all the adhesive on this with a wire wheel, and then spraying it down again. And we wanna really flush this thing out so it doesn't corrode, because Purple Power can be corrosive. And like I was saying, you can kind of see the tarnish on this from the Purple Power. So again, this is gonna go ahead and get a little bit of aluminum brightener to refreshen it here soon. With washing all complete, we're gonna move on to the next step, which is tear down the engine. Now, tear down is something that I've kind of been dreading on this build, not because I can't handle it or anything like that, but because we are gonna be doing a bottom end on this, and that is the first time I've done a bottom end on a bike. So this is gonna be some uncharted territory for me. Teardown is actually very straightforward on these. You're basically just removing the bolts and then removing the corresponding part. So we're gonna go ahead and undo all the head studs here. And then once all the bolts are done for that, you go ahead and pull it off. And of course it's carboned up because this bike ran like crap its whole life. We're gonna be getting this thing ready to pull the cylinder off next. You gotta go ahead and pull the covers off for the exhaust valves here and get the linkage pulled off of that on either side. And that's where the base nuts are too in there. And then we're gonna undo the rest of the base nuts on the whole engine, and this thing's ready to pop off. And I'm pretty sure this piston was sitting right around 30-ish hours. To remove it, you need to remove the circlip and then go ahead and push the wrist pin out, and this thing pops right off the connecting rod. Which means we're ready to get this thing prepped to split the case. I'm gonna be doing a more detailed video going over step by step of exactly what went into tearing down this engine. So we're not gonna be going into crazy detail now, but we're just gonna be showing you every single part of just popping all this stuff up very briefly. And then I'll be coming out with something a little bit more serious if you wanna learn how to do this. This isn't a how-to, it's just showing you what I did. In that last clip, you saw me pulling off the clutch cover, and then we're draining all the fluids, and then we're gonna be moving on to pulling out the individual pieces on the clutch, which will let the clutch plates come out, so then I can go ahead and move into the next step. While I was on the side, I decided to go ahead and remove the bolt that holds on the shifter, because that's got to come out. And then we got to bend this little bit of a tang here, so that way we can remove the bolt that holds the clutch basket and all the components in. With all that stuff removed, we can go ahead and undo the bolts here, and you can pull out the first part of the case here that has like the water pump housing and stuff like that attached to it. And then we just have to remove the last bits here that are holding this side of the case together. With the right side of the engine good to go, we're gonna move on to the left where we need to go ahead and pull this flywheel off, which you need a special tool for. You need some sort of puller here, but then it comes off super easily once you have that. Once we pull the stator off, we can go ahead and pull this last seals on here and then undo all the bolts, and this thing is officially ready to get the cases split in half. And with my masterful split, everything pours all out except for the last couple components here. So we pull out what didn't fall out. Don't recommend doing it this way, but it is what it is, and it ended up working out. All right, that's the last part of teardown. We will punch out the rest of these bearings. They're gonna get punched out and directly replaced, so I don't mess it up. We need to clean this whole engine case down and everything first anyway, but this is bottom end, obviously, and then you got the rest of the bottom end and the top end, and that's how you break down an entire dirt bike completely and just pile of parts. The engine cases now split are going to go into our cooler to get the solution we did with all the other parts, and as they soak, we're going to go ahead and get these other aluminum parts brightened up with aluminum brightener, scrub down, and then just wash all of this stuff down while we wait for the engine cases to be ready to go. With our frame also being scrubbed down finally and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and rinse that down as well so nothing corrodes or any of the bearings don't get dried out from the purple power. And by the time we're done with that, all the aluminum parts are also done with the aluminum brightener. All right, typically everyone gets these powder coated, and I was going to do that too, but it's $350 and a can of spray paint was $7 just to do these little touch-ups, so not really worth it. So we're gonna do just some touch-ups on this, which some people probably aren't gonna love, but I don't really care, and then we'll take the money and put it into things like suspension that matter. A big reason why I didn't want to get this powder coated beyond the price was just because this bike has 60 hours, the frame's barely got any wear on it. These GASGAS frames actually are known for wearing a little bit, but it's not really worth it when you're not even gonna hardly see any of this, whereas I can just get this spray paint and just touch up these spots and it'll be a lot cheaper. And again, you barely see the frame. It's got frame guards, it's got everything else on top of it. So to prep these for paint, we're just gonna be using some isopropyl alcohol and wiping it all down to remove any grease, and then we're using the spray paint here, just touching up the different sections. And I actually ended up just removing everything off this frame and doing one just even coat on the entire thing. I just thought it would look a lot cleaner and just make more sense than just doing touch-ups.
Coat number 2, Breaking Bad style.
After about an hour, we go ahead and lay up the second coat on this, and then once it dries, this frame is completely done, except for we need to strip all these bolts and stuff that I left in there so the threads didn't coat it in, and we're going to be using Citrus Strip to remove the paint on the things that we don't want paint on, but I wanted to leave them on there so that way the threads didn't get paint in there and it all works. While we were doing this, our engine cases were soaking in our purple power solution in the cooler. They're finally ready to get scrubbed down, and scrubbing them and power washing them here isn't to get them spotless, it's just to get them to a rough basic level of cleanliness before they get wire wheeled. All right, we're about to Dremel down these different pieces to get them all cleaned up. We're gonna show you guys just a little bit of this because it's pretty boring, but my filmer Dustin is getting in here and he's gonna Dremel this all down, so that's what you're gonna see on camera, not me, because I'm gonna do the other one on the side. The process of wire wheeling these engine cases down is a very long and very boring one. You're basically just using multiple wheels because they fall apart the whole time to scrub all of the leftovers, but the end result is these things look absolutely incredible, and it's always worth the time to make them look absolutely brand new. The reason I ended up washing this with all the bearings in it is because we're not reusing any of these, so we're gonna go ahead and get these punched out so that way they're ready to go and we can get our brand new bearings put in. All right, we have come to the stage where these cases are ready to be rebuilt. We're gonna cook them in the oven at 175 for a couple minutes, let them warm up. All the bearings, and the crank and everything's in the freezer. They shrink, these expand, they drop right in. We're not gonna bore you guys with this. We're doing the bottom and the top end. So we're about to hit the montage, and when we get to the end of this montage, we're gonna have a complete engine to go in the frame finally.
Yeah, feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to son these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actors. I don't fall for it, I'm privy to all your tactics. Yeah, so try again, this time take a vitamin. Yeah, invite them in, welcome to the Lion's Den. And I'm Mufasa, big boss in charge of, coming in like a bull. You see me raising the stock up, yeah. So baby, you gon' need some patience. I already won, now I'm just making a statement, Damn, baby, why your mans keep hating? You asking about the cake, you here for the celebrations. And I ain't fishing, I ain't really into baiting. I know they all wish I take away they maiden, but sorry I'm taking me and my lady mating. She look me in the eyes and tell me how much she loving on my confidence, yeah. It really shouldn't be no arguments, cause you're now viewing the greatest of all time, saying I can't get better, I promise they all lying on my confidence. Yeah, that's right. Look, I think it's time you start using your common sense. Everybody watch out, cause the bomb is lit. I got that confidence, that's right. Confidence, yeah, confidence. That's me. Hold up. Yeah. I'm sorry if I stutter. Yeah, my brain move a little faster than others. Yeah, I even keep a close eye on my brothers, cause sometimes it's your blood that turn into blood suckers. Yeah. And I'm on a big mission. My whole team got a plate up in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm talking everything. I make all the fixings. Yeah, they come a long way from where they come up missing. I blame it on my confidence.
Part of the 150 conversion for this bike is going to be changing out the piston, and obviously with a new piston that's bigger, we need a new cylinder, power valve, and everything. So that's what I'm just getting prepped here and put onto the cylinder. Just thought it was worth mentioning that.
Confident. Yeah, that's right. No downplaying my accomplishments. You call me arrogant, I take it as a compliment. I got that confidence. Come on now.
Now, KTM has an OEM part that you can buy, which is this 150 conversion, but the one thing that they didn't tell me is that you need a different power valve. So your cylinder's different, your piston's different, and your power valve is different. The cylinder heads and inserts are the same, just kind of confusing and something you kind of got to be aware of. So as you can see, I could not get this power valve to go in, and I had to order the other one, which I did not know. So something to be aware of if you're going to do this conversion. But anyway, with that solved and sorted, we're going to get back to doing the rest of the montage here, putting this back together. We are now on to the top end.
We all addicted to something that takes the pain away. Cause every lesson can't be solved with a simple pray. Envision single mothers working every night and day. So kids influenced from environments in which they play. Then add in the environment in which they stay. Ain't safe for them to go outside because of bullet strays. Or drugs and thugs to go over parks because they getting paid. Faced with immeasurable odds, now what you gotta say? He changed real quick, focus up and get the dollar. No sleep, the early bird always gets the night crawler. My friend not trying, never had a fear of failure. Cause failure only happens when you listen what they tell you.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of things. Can't tell you it all the same. Through the highs and the lows and the curves and the road. Still here to live and king. Standing on my own too. Make the rules like we're supposed to. Give a damn what you heard. I'm a man, I'm a word. Tell me what you know about me.
Tell me what you know about me in real life, huh? A status, a tweet, don't capture what I feel like. I still write with the light and the God in my fingertips. Been holding on for so long, sometimes my fingers slip. Feel like the pressure of the world is on my shoulders. Battling depression, stressing and starting over. Must need a clover with 4 leaves and a rabbit's foot. Haven't had a haircut in 6 weeks, this my savage look. No line to define them, I'm still pushing through. If I fall, then I fall, but I'm still pushing you. It's never bad as it seems, must change how we think. Used to have the food stamps out the booklet till I made the link.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of things. Can't tell you it all the same.
All right, we officially have, hopefully, a working engine that's put together, minus the water pump. I ended up losing the water pump cover, so I figured why not just order one of the super coolers that's got the billet aluminum thing, so it's just not in yet. So that'll go in, and this thing's done, as long as nothing's wrong with it. So we're gonna get it bolted into the frame and get a couple pieces in. The suspension isn't done yet, so we can't get that done, but we're gonna do as much as we can, and then we'll wait for the next round of parts to come in. This is where we're gonna wrap up today's video. Pretty substantial progress. It took us a really long time to get this engine back together. It's been a lot of learning going on, but this is where it's gonna end. The good news is we only have one more video in this series. So the next video that comes out is gonna be start from here to completely finished. So we're waiting on a couple things, so we can't do too much more of this video, but pretty stoked with it. It's looking really freaking sick. So next video is gonna be a banger. We've got like $5,000 worth of parts inside the house there that are gonna go on this thing. So it's gonna be probably the most expensive 125 ever. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it so we can do more of these. Peace out.